Hello, it's me, Phoenix. This is going to be a whole lot different from anything on my channel. I'm completely re-scrapping everything. I don't even know what's on there now, just cool stuff. But real quick, without any further introduction, we're going to hop right into it. This is a video commentary on the new Netflix show, 20-somethings. Oh, my room may be a little messy, but that's fine. Just focus on me. So, I'm going to try my best with that. I'm going to try my best to not hate and slander on the show. I will want to try to be biased. For one, I'm not from Austin, so, however, I did see a lot of other videos and people's comments on why they chose the city of Austin to do this in, and what are the pros and cons to that, really. And also, I did audition for this show online, as well as a whole bunch of other reality Netflix TV shows, and I didn't get it. But just because they didn't pick me, I'm going to try my best to not slander the show, because there's obviously a reason for everything. But without further ado, let's get into it. So, where am I? So, 20-somethings Austin is a show about, obviously, 20-something-year-olds who live in a house together for the first time. They don't know each other, and they're trying to navigate their life in success, love, blah, 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 basic reality TV. It's very similar to MTV's Real World, as well as Terrace House. I personally am a huge fan of Terrace House. When I saw this, I kind of knew they might be following a similar format. Give or take, that's neither here nor there. But when I was auditioning for the show on Netflix, I've noticed it was actually originally called The Roaring Twenties, and that's why I auditioned, because it sounded cute. The Roaring Twenties, that's what everyone was looking forward to when it came to be 2020. And then, of course, we all know the pandemic happened. So I kind of figured the show would be something similar to Terrace House, post-2020 pandemic, and they're trying to find jobs and find success in their life. Okay, we get the premise. Okay. To me, the show was not that. Here's my review now. Enter angry review now. When I auditioned, my audition tape personally was me talking about my passion for what I wanted to do in my career, my success, what I had done already, my age, where I was from. And I think I was just expecting it to be Terrace House just too much, because on Terrace House, all the people on there, the boys and the women, the men and the women, they had amazing, successful careers, and they were all in the house almost sort of to network and build each other up. And then those with maybe not so stellar careers who wanted to transition to something else, the others would kind of be like the motherly, older sibling figure and help bring them up in terms of family. And then they also dated and had connections along the way. This show, 20-somethings, is almost the exact opposite. In the first episode, they all get in, and it's so funny because you could tell they all immediately start drinking. And I'm not hating on that, because I do that too, because we are in fact 20-somethings. But they immediately start drinking, and they immediately start mingling at the pool, and connections are forming, and then it's revealed some characters are gay, some characters are bisexual, some characters are models, or this or that, and lines start connecting, people are checking each other out, and in the midst of all this, you don't really get a sense of what they want to do, what their career is. And I've noticed in their confessionals, when they do explain it, they picked a lot of 20-somethings who were either sheltered, like grew up and didn't get to go to that sleepover they wanted to go to because their parents kept them inside, or characters who, a lot of them were characters who what are they? My mind's blanking. A lot of them were characters who sheltered. But that's neither here nor there. There are characters who still, live at home with their parents. I believe the oldest 20-something is probably 28. And that might be Michael Fractor or someone else. I don't know. But a lot of them were at home with their parents at 23 to 26 and didn't move out to get a job on their own. Or the pandemic happened and they had to go back home with their families because the workforce crumbled before our very eyes. And so that right there already kind of explained to me, okay, that's probably why I didn't get it, because my audition tape was displaying my already set career on being on my own. And I think they really just wanted to showcase really lost 20-somethings just to see what they would do, see what kind of stuff they could get into. So if we dig even deeper, let's see, get into some research. So first character is Michael Fractor. I'm actually in love with Michael Fractor. He's very hilarious, very funny. He's actually wants to be a stand-up comedian. I think his comedy was hilarious. He actually does go to a stand-up bar, says some jokes, but he bombs, and I believe Netflix just edited it to be quiet and have crickets, because his jokes were hilarious. Me and my roommates were cracking up. But long story short, his stand-up comedy career is bombing, and he's in Austin trying to figure it out, and it's so stressful, and he's so angsty and funny, and nobody knows what to do. So that's pretty cool. Another character we have, if I keep doing this, is Kamari. Kamari is a model. He's obviously very attractive, and he's kind of the player of the house. The one thing I'm upset with is that it was mainly about the love lives. None of them really focused on their careers. Only a select few did, and I will give them their props for that, because later on they did start applying to jobs, and they do start actually getting some really cool opportunities and networking in Austin, which is what it should be about. But I feel like the whole show was overshadowed between characters like this, who were focused on the looks and the love and the hooking up with your roommates and ruining the entire dynamic. Obviously, if you haven't noticed by now, this is going to be a review riddled with spoilers. So Kamari actually meets first a girl named Abby, which is her here. Abby Freeze, or I don't know her, Abby Humphrey. Abby's also very annoying. Almost extremely annoying, to the point that it's hard to watch most of the time. Abby here, she was actually recently divorced. I believe she was like 23, 24. She was actually divorced and then came on to the show after her divorce to navigate her love life and find a career move to Austin. Now, she says a lot in her confessionals, oh, I'm not looking for a relationship, I'm not looking for love, love sucks and men suck, and actually I'm bisexual and I'm gonna be chasing women or chasing my career, working on myself. Wrong, because in the first episode, yes, she does. Actually, she does something in the first episode that really rubs me the wrong way as well, because as we're introduced to all the characters, we're introduced to a nice, amazing young man named Keanu, or Kiki. I hope I'm saying his name right, Keanu or Keanu. And Kiki, actually, his first time ever coming out gay was at 25, or however old he is. And he's from a very conservative place where he did not get to live his authentic self. And he goes into that story where he sits down with Abby and Natalie. This is Natalie and some other people, I think Bruce, who we'll talk about later. But like I said, Abby kind of does something that rubs me the wrong way. She cuts him off and starts talking about how, like, oh my God, I understand how you feel. I understand you just said that because I'm bisexual too. And I feel like she completely steals the moment from Kiki and makes it about her. And then she even goes, sorry, I didn't mean to take away the moment or anything, but I think that's really cool. That me and you get to relate and blah, blah, blah. And then in her confessional, she talks about how she's so excited to have Kiki and confide in him and blah, blah, blah. But for the rest of the series, she doesn't talk to Kiki because she's too busy making messes for everyone else in the house. So again, with Kamari, that's one of the first guys she interacts. Actually, no, she first interacts with a person named Isha. With Isha, this is all the girls. Okay, Isha right here, she's Indian and she's gorgeous and she's a fashion designer. And she actually does something that's amazing with the show. She actually has a fashion line and she gets it into Austin boutiques, and her line just takes off. Pieces are selling, she's making money, and she's adorable. But Isha starts talking to this guy named Bruce. She's in the house, and Abby doesn't like that. She's bisexual and she wants to be with her. But she also doesn't like that her Isha and Bruce's relationship just keeps growing and growing and growing. She's like, okay, screw it, I'm gonna go fling myself at Kamari. And Kamari's, again, the black man here. And another thing I don't like, of course, your basic stereotype, one black man, one black woman, because that's already enough and we can't have more. And then they try to be slick and throw in an Indian, and I don't really know Kiki's ethnicity, maybe Hispanic or something, and Natalie's probably Hispanic too. But again, this could be more representation, and that's another reason why I'm salty, maybe, as to why I didn't get picked, because they were like, can't have two black girls. That would be a horrendous problem. Can't have that. But anyways, Abby throws herself at Kamari, very annoying, and she just talks about how I always get what I want. I'm an Afro female, I'm playing this game. And then everybody sees that they hook up. It's a friends with benefits situation. But then Kamari's like, okay, let's see if I can reap the benefits of this friends situation. And he starts flirting with other girls who aren't even in the house, in the bar one night in front of her. Of course she gets mad, because even though you say it's friends with benefits and there's no strings attached, there's still gonna be some strings attached. And Abby confronts Kamari about it. Kamari's like, I don't get what's going on, because I thought this was friends with benefits. He does not care, and he's talking about how he's not ready for a relationship yet. And Abby's like, okay, you know what, I'm breaking this off. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Bruce, I'm not talking about him a lot because he actually ends up leaving the show, which I hated, because you know you're coming to Austin. I feel like this show was supposed to be about success and what 20-somethings can do with their ambition and their power, and that's really why I wanted to be on it, because I feel like I could have rocked that and spun it in a cool way. But a lot of these characters didn't do that, except for maybe Isha and maybe Kamari later on in his modeling career. I don't know, but Bruce actually gets this really cool sports job at the Texas Rangers minor league stadium in Austin, Texas. He's one of the first ones to start applying for jobs. He gets the interview. Him and Isha go out because they have the connection right now. They go out, get clothes for the interview, and long story short, later on he actually hears back from them, and he has the job. But then he's homesick and wants to go back to South Carolina, and gives up that amazing job and amazing pay and amazing opportunity to live in Austin, and then he leaves and a whole other roommate comes in. So that's just crazy. That just disrupted the whole show. However, I did like, again, alluding back to Terrace House, I did like that a new character came in, and that's what I thought it was going to be like the whole time. I feel like it ended short. There was only 12 episodes. They released the first half, then they released the second half. There were only 12. And so only one roommate came in. Kiki actually leaves as well, because he has a death in the family. It was very sad. He has all my love and condolences. But Kiki ends up coming back. Bruce, however, got homesick, got scared when he got a full-time amazing job offer in Austin, and flew back home. What's the point of being on 20-somethings Austin edition to fly back home and give up the success Netflix wanted to record you'd have in the first place? Something's not clicking. That made me also very upset, because a wasted opportunity. But anyways, a new roommate comes in. Abby's still upset with Kamari, blah, 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 blah. So she starts flirting with the new roommate, and it's also very sad. Natalie here. Natalie's one of the most amazing, beautifulest women on the show. She has a lot of the personality, a lot of the jokes. She was funny and spunk and hip. And I feel like, didn't get enough screen time because she wasn't as into the flirting and everything as everyone else. And later on she did, but it was very sad because she would get stood up, and she was really navigating her love life at this point. And she got a little job at a coffee shop and everything, but that was pretty much it. But when the new roommate comes in, pretend Bruce is not here, X amount. The new roommate comes in, and Natalie expresses she thinks he's cute and has a crush on him. And then Abby's like, yeah, of course he's cute. Natalie asks Abby what she thinks about him. Abby's like, yeah, of course he's cute, but, you know. And Natalie's like, okay, if you had a shot with him, would you go for it? And Abby straight up on camera says, no, I wouldn't. That's weird. I wouldn't do that. But then, next thing you know, they're together flirting, and then they start making out. And Abby is so heartbroken, she confronts her. Natalie is heartbroken, confronts Abby about it. And Abby does let down some walls and explain that she has a problem getting validation from men. It's an addiction to her. That's what she likes to do, and it has ruined her relationships in the past, and she's trying to get better. So that's understandable. Okay, she's on the show to try to get better, but not before she started sleeping around with everybody and blah, 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 and really just contradicting herself. And then the only job she ended up getting was bartender stuff. So it's just like, there could be other people chosen for the show that I felt like this should have been, but who knows? Netflix is probably going in a completely different direction. You never know. Oh my god, look how messy my room is. Anyways, so then once their connection is off and their connection is off and all the other connections, I don't even know, Kamari actually starts feeling something for Roxy. And Roxy, I feel like, didn't get enough screen time either, again, because she's a black woman, and Netflix and other reality TV mediums and blah, blah, blah suck. I can't even remember right now what Rocky's passion or dream job was or career was, because she was either not getting screen time, and she actually had a connection with Michael, but Michael is so nerdy and didn't get that he was being flirted with that she took a step back, and then Michael ended up with Isha and actually let his walls down for her, which I was like, okay, fine, they're cute, but you had Roxy. What happened with that? It's not clicking. But anyways, Kamara and Roxy find their way to each other, and they have a friends with benefits situation, and I get so scared because Kamara is going to do the same thing he did with Abby to Rocky. But actually, Kamari lets down his walls, and they're cute together, and he likes her, and he actually wants to have something with her, so we'll see. I don't know. And I'm very confused because everyone just ends up leaving after the 10 weeks. I don't know if they're going to come back, if they're still living in Austin, if it's a whole new cast season 2, but basically, long story short, Natalie and Kiki didn't really have careers. It was mainly about them being outsiders and navigating their love life. Excuse me. It was Kiki's first time being gay, being his first authentic self. I believe he had the greatest arc, and he was so cute. He actually met with guys, had his first kiss. He did go through some heartbreak and family problems, but his story was nice to see. Natalie was also nice to see. I feel like she could have had some more. I still don't know what their really careers are. Isha was great. Her fashion line, Hut Mentality, was amazing. If I had the money, I would buy stuff. I'm sure she's gonna take off and do great. Michael Factor was so funny. However, his comedic stand-up career was not taking off, and he was planning to go move back to California and leave and break it off with Isha, and it was very heartbreaking because they didn't want to do long distance. They didn't want to prolong the breakup. But, you know, whatever happens, happens. But it was so cute at the end because Michael Factor actually comes back and says he's staying with her in Austin and he's going to pursue writing and screenplays. And I'm like, there you go. That's so cute. Kamari actually books an agency in Austin, and I'll give it to him. His pictures are cute and stuff. But during his photo shoot arc, when we see him at the agency, he has no skills whatsoever. If Tyra Banks were in that room, she would be shaking and rolling over and wondering why he's not listening to the America's Next Top Model shows and their advice, because he was horrible. However, his pictures came out great because obviously he's still cute, and he gets signed to the agency. So I think he stayed in Austin as well. Rocky stayed with him. I don't believe she got a job. Abby stayed in Austin as a bartender. These two actually moved in together, Natalie and Kiki. And again, Bruce is not here. The other guy that comes in, I think his name's Adam. He's like some beer promotions guy. But yeah, long story short, I feel like this just fell really short and I was still missing a lot. But I think that was just because I was expecting a different dynamic or format along with Terrace House and their jobs and their careers. And again, I'm bitter. Like, these people could have done so much more. I feel like I could have done more. That should have been me right here in the middle. But again, I digress. The show, did its best. It was actually supposed to be called the Roaring 20s, which I thought would have been a lot better, but instead they did the 20-somethings Austin thing. And again, with Austin, I don't really know why they chose that city, and it's actually kind of weird and awkward that they're highlighting Austin so much. Maybe that's again a Terrace House thing, because Terrace House also did that in certain parts of Japan. And they show a lot of drone shots of the city, but it looks so clean, and there's no traffic, and there's no issues. But then I know the real Austin I know, there's homelessness everywhere, but obviously Netflix is not going to show that. I just feel like it was weird to glamorize it as a trendy hip place, which it is. But the gentrification and the homelessness is so bad. I feel like viewers who know nothing about Austin, who come and watch it and want to be like these guys, they're in for a rude awakening. But again, Austin's a growing city. Maybe Netflix has some partnership with them. But the whole series is literally just a Austin sponsorship. Come live in Austin. In the next season, will they still be in Austin? I don't know. And the next season will be their new characters. I don't know. But I'm going to keep auditioning till the day I die, till I get on the show, and then we'll see what happens. But that was my review. Please don't leave bad comments. I'm shy and I'm scared. But again, I don't know what the direction this is going to be in. I thought it was cool. For the most part, I say watch it yourself, form an opinion, and yeah, that's it.